All right, hey everybody, welcome back to Tammy Talk. So we are here tonight because we're going to talk Black and Crew, Chicago Season 7, Episode 7, Is There a Doctor in the House? All right, so this, first and foremost, rest in peace to Charmaine's father. It was so hard watching her find out about her mother. I believe that was just last season. And then having to like watch her go through the aftermath of the death, the shock, and all that stuff. So I'm glad that for this season, and then with this particular instance, they did it in a more tactful, tasteful way to where we didn't have to see her getting the phone call and all that stuff again. So, rest in peace to him. Um, Before we get started, if you are brand new to my channel or if you are just back for another third, fourth, fifth time, go ahead, hit that subscribe button. That way you won't miss any of my other future videos and all that good stuff. Don't forget to thumbs up the video on your way in or out if you enjoyed the content. And what else? Leave some comments down below. Hop into the comment section and let's get started, y'all. So this episode starts off. We don't know how much time has passed between last episode, that meeting that they had, and like today. But we have Don, Four, and Steven sitting in NIMAC, and they're talking about the dinner and um like everything that happened, like the arguments, all that type of stuff. And Don asks Steven is what happened that has that caused him to want to step away from the shop or step away. Basically, has it made him want to leave the show because of the drama? And Steven is like, no, as long as, these issues, like, it just seems like issues just need to work out. It's miscommunication, which a lot of it is just miscommunication, egos getting in the way. So they mentioned that Ryan is gone for, I guess, like the next week or so that he can go to the therapist to work on himself. And they're saying that, we see what's going on in the Second City. We don't want that mess over here. So, everybody needs to do what they need to do. Everybody needs to, like, stay transparent, speak up, work together as a team so that the shop is the same way that he left it when he returns. So Don suggests that they have like a health event, like a mental health event, where people can come get like some mental health, I don't want to say mental health help, but some mental health, like maybe tips, maybe some resources, and then in exchange for that, the tattoo artist is going to give away like small script tattoos. Everyone is on board for it, and Don tells Steven, go ahead and invite Kit, to go ahead and invite Kit. And Steven's like, yeah, I'll invite her for sure. It's absolutely no problem. So then we see Drea and Prince, and they are talking about Charmaine spreading the rumor that they are sleeping together. And Prince is just like, Prince is disrespected because that shouldn't have happened. And that all just happened because of Charmaine just being messy. So Drea asks Prince, like, is he going to keep working for Charmaine and working for somebody that would not only, disrespect him the way that she has been, but that would also like put out a blatant rumor like that on TV. And Prince said, he's questioning her loyalty stemming back from, how he had to go work at the Nine Mag booth during the tattoo convention. And I've seen some people saying that Prince needs to let it go, but it's like, why should he? Because everything that Prince is saying is like super legit. You know what I mean? He should not have to go work. He should not have had to go work at the other tattoo shop or anything, or at Nine Mag's booth, on top of having to pay 50% of what he earned. So he contemplates what he's going to do, and he's even more upset that Charmaine took an issue that was between her and Drea, dragged him into it, and then dragged his girlfriend into it as well. So Charmaine walks into her shop, and she is looking for Prince. And I'm like, girl, why would he be at work the way you was talking to him last time? Charmaine is just like, she lacks all self-awareness. It is crazy. So Charmaine feels a way that Prince has not said anything to her. He hasn't showed up to work. And because she is mad, she decides to text Mariah, who is her friend, and tell her that Prince used to mess around with Drea and that his car has been outside her house, telling her, you might need to get what you got get your household in order. And it's like, Charmaine, you continue to be messy. What type of boss does that? So you call yourself a boss. You keep saying that you're a tattoo owner and you got all this stuff together, but you're not able to separate business from personal, because it makes you wonder, how long have you been driving around and keeping track of where his car is? Because how long did you know that Prince was going over to Dre's house at night? Did you have any intention of telling your friend? Or were you going to keep it a secret, but since Prince crossed you, now all of a sudden it's a problem? Charmaine is so fake. Charmaine is so full of shit. That's what she is. So we see Ryan is going to a therapist, and I'm about to do all the Ryan stuff all together. So Ryan is with this therapist where I believe he's going to stay for like a week's time so that he can really do the work on himself. So the issues that he first talks about are his parents divorcing and how it felt going from house to house. Then he talks about Nova's death, who is his older sister who was killed, and how he feels responsible because the story that he has told throughout the series really, is that he was supposed to meet Nova at her house to get some money from her to start his tattoo business. He went out partying the night before. He was drunk and stuff, and he just didn't wake up early enough in time or something. It had something to do with him, like being out partying, being hungover or drunk or something, and just not getting there to her in time. So he feels that her last moments, where he was able to recount like where she must have ran to, and I believe it's probably from like the trail of blood that was left, because she got shot a couple of times. And he was like, his biggest guilt and what's weighing on him is the fact that Nova might have been looking for him for help and for kind of thinking, who's going to come help me after getting shot. And he feels that her last moments were thinking about him or their father for help, and he has that guilt with him. So we see later in the episode, Ryan's therapist, it gave me Iyanla where she was like, Ryan, you gonna come down to work? So she goes up to his room, and she's like, is today my last day? Is this where we're gonna part ways? Because either this is avoidance or selfishness. You can tell me which one it is. And Ryan decided it's selfishness because he wanted to get some rest. And he was like, he wanted to get some rest that he felt he was deserving of. And the therapist is like, look, either you're going to do the work or you're not going to do the work, but I can't help you if you're not willing to help yourself. And Ryan is just like, wow, no one's ever held me accountable. And I'm like, that's really the problem. And that's the biggest reason that Ryan behaves and acts the way that he does, because for so long, and we see it just even with his friends, no one holds him accountable. Ryan is able to say what he wants. Ryan is able to do what he wants. And a lot of times his friends and family just kind of go along with it. And like people have said, Ryan has pretty privilege. Ryan is a fine ass man. And when you're a good looking person, people excuse the bullshit that you do. You're able to get away with more. So later in the episode, they show some clips of like his mother coming, his father coming, his younger sister, them coming in and talking to him, kind of trying to figure out like what is going on. I don't remember if Rachel was there. I feel like we saw a real brief snippet of her, but I can't remember offhand right now. But later they have Don, Four, and Charmaine come to talk to him as friends. And I felt like that. What did she call it? The circle of feedback. I felt it was a waste of time. They didn't give Ryan any real feedback. They weren't truly honest with him about the stuff he does. Four, who we know kisses Ryan's ass constantly anyways, Four told him that he wants him to open up more, talk to me more, because when I was low, you were there for me. And I'm like, that's not honest feedback. Call Ryan out on his bullshit, and that's what they needed to be doing, and no one did that. Don told him that he was tired of watching Ryan self-sabotage himself. He has all the keys, all the tools to get the help that he needs and do the work that he needs to do on himself. in order to, stop doing the stuff that he's doing. And I feel like Don was the realist, but they weren't really doing anything like that. And then Charmaine was just like, she wants Ryan to face things head on and admit when he's not okay. And I'm like, is this what the therapist wanted them to have to do? To me, it did not feel, and it didn't come across as them really telling Ryan about himself. Like, I thought that was extremely pointless. And then at the end of the episode, we see Ryan doing yoga with the therapist, and it's in an attempt for him to let go of the guilt that he has from Nova, to like be okay with the fact that she has passed on. She's still looking after him. She's proud of you. She's not judging you for her death or anything, anything of the sort like that. And while it would be nice to think that this helps Ryan, we see in the preview he's back to work and he is yelling at Steven because Steven said he felt that this was not the experience that he thought he would have. Ryan needs to go to anger management, not therapy. Ryan needs anger management because he needs to find out and find some ways to not get himself so triggered when people tell him something. Like the fact that he's mad at Kit because, you know what, actually let me go there. We see Kitty and Drea, they go to like an oil bar or like some type of scent bar, and they talk about how Charmaine started spreading that rumor, and Drea is saying how it has affected her friendship with Prince, to the point that, if Prince's girlfriend is not okay with him, hanging out with her and painting and drawing and, doing artist type things, now their friendship is going to be stunted because Charmaine was being super messy and felt the need to like throw that in their faces because Charmaine was losing the argument. And then Kitty talks about how Ryan was acting in the meeting, how she felt disrespected. She thinks Ryan called her a bitch. He did not. He called her a goofball, which is basically his way of calling her a bitch without saying it. And Kitty said that when all this stuff blew up on social media and everybody found out that Ryan had slept with Anthony's baby mama, and Ryan was posting him partying out and playing music saying, like, because Ryan was subbing and doing all this other stuff. Kit said that she texted Ryan and told him they are dragging you on the internet. You out here looking kind of crazy. You might want to tone down, acting arrogant and some of the stuff that you're posting and doing. And she said Ryan cussed her out. She cussed him out. And that's, and she was like, well, he should be over it by now. Ryan is a Gemini, if I'm not mistaken, and that's what they do. I'm just saying, that's what they do. They don't take accountability for anything. They don't like to be told about themselves. That is a true Gemini, and Ryan is a true Gemini. Like, he behaves definitely as such. So, and I'm like, so Ryan was mad that Kit was telling him about himself? There's nothing worse than somebody that does not like to be told about themselves. That does not like to be told when they are effing up, when they are going off the deep end. Like, I don't think there's anything wrong with what Kit told him. Like, if y'all are supposed to be friends, your friends should be able to tell you stuff like that and you're okay with it, but not Ryan. We see Prince and Mariah go to dinner. And what really got me with Mariah is Mariah said that Charmaine hasn't seen anything, but she knows. I would say, what are you talking about, Mariah? So Mariah is writing for Charmaine, and it's like Charmaine would never just say or do something like that. Have you been watching this? Have you been watching the show, Mariah? Oh, girl, because you clearly don't know what's been going on. So Prince is just kind of like, I've never slept with Drea. We have never been messing around. We're friends. We're artists. I've been trying to hold down the shop for Charmaine. And then Mariah was like, yeah, if you're holding down the shop for her, why would she go do this? And I'm like, oh, Mariah. Charmaine, you done caused a rift in these people's relationship on you being on some messy shit. And that's foul. And then finally at the end, we see Charmaine in her house. She found out that her father has passed away. We see her cousin Danielle, who was once a part of the cast. Danielle comes over to talk to her, to comfort her, give her some support. And then we see the cast all giving her encouragement and wishing their condolences at the end. Very big of Kit to do it. But at the same time, Kit has also lost her mother very recently. So if anyone understands, what Charmaine is going through, losing a parent, it would be Kit. So I don't understand why. Because, like, Kit and Charmaine, I thought bonded because Kit did Charmaine's mother's makeup at her funeral or for the funeral. So I don't understand why Charmaine is, like, pushing Kit away and doing the most with her. Like, you're pushing away the one person on this cast that truly understands what you're going through and that has tried to be there for you. It's really weird, but people grieve in different ways. People go through things in different ways. I mean, as we've seen today, the way they've been going back and forth on Twitter, they have not resolved their friendship. But maybe if Charmaine watched this episode, I mean, she owes Kid an apology. Charmaine owes a lot of people an apology, but I'm sure we won't see it. But that was tonight's episode. If you have not already, subscribe to the channel, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye.